you begin to question this like whole life thing. I'm like, what's the fucking point of it? Like, why did I say yes? Like, why am I here? Like, what the heck? Like, why would I be so stupid? What is up, my brother? Welcome to another episode of the Rich Mystic Man podcast. I'm your host, Clint Morgan, and today I wanted to have I wanted to share something that's been part of my experience of my life, and I feel that it's just something that I wanted to share, and whether you'll get value from it or not, it's potentially you can relate to it, and hopefully there's some wisdom in the transmission and what I'm about to share, because it's been calling me. There's been a couple of times that I'm like, oh, I need to go share this, or I want to go share this on my podcast. And my studio is downstairs from my house, and so even this morning I was sort of up at like 3 a.m. and I was like, fuck, it came back to me as like, let's go share this podcast. Anyway, so here I am showing up for my soul's purpose and my expression of life. And so the conversation that I've been having with myself, and I've also been like curiously asking people around me, it's a question around life. And what I've been pondering is, if I was given the opportunity again, do you want to go back or go and experience life on Earth again? Would you say yes? And I was like, right now, I don't think so. And I don't want that to come across the wrong way, that I'm like, ready to jump out, or, this is a plea to question life. But I'm like, well, what's the fucking point? Like, what is the point? And, I'm saying this with like tongue in cheek and, attempting to be playful. But I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and I was like, life's really hard. Like, it's super confronting, really intense, and really challenging. And so I'm like, based on that experience, I was like, if I had the opportunity again, I'm like, would I come back here? I'm like, I don't think so. And so, and I feel I shared this on a podcast the other day, but it was like about a month ago, I went to the Blues Fest with a few friends. And it was a festival, Northern Rivers, near Byron Bay. And, I was excited because I was like, cool, festival. I hadn't been to a festival in a while. So I went to this festival, paid a bunch of money, got a ticket, went there. And like, the day was great. I had a really fun day, really fun, really interesting, fascinating, a lot of cool different experiences. But would I go back to the Blues Fest again? Absolutely not. Just no way. No way. And so I was like, it's a bit like life. It's like, like, don't get me wrong. Like, like I said, I don't want this to come across the wrong way, that I'm not like grateful for my life. And, there's probably people out there going, Clint, you've got a fucking epic life. And I do. Life's incredible, and I have beautiful experiences. I have 3 beautiful children. I have a beautiful wife who I love and adore, and an amazing business that pays me residual income every single month. I'm financially free. And so it's like, on paper, it's like life's epic. And, like, not just on paper, it is epic, and I have a real great time at times. And then other times it's really fucking hard. It's like, some of the emotions that you go through. And if I look at my own life, like, some of the key challenging times of my life, I guess, was like, my mum and dad split when I was 12. That was really confronting, really hard. I've had a lot of loved ones or a bunch of loved ones around me that have passed away. I lost my brother, 18 months ago. That was really super hard. I have 3 children, and that's amazing and a blessing. And at the same time, it's really fucking hard, like really hard, like really challenging. Like my youngest daughter at the moment is 2, and she's beautiful and so sweet and so cute, but she's going through a developmental stage, and with that has some really crazy like hormones, emotions, like whatever she's going on in her life, and it's really tough. It's really hard. So I'm like, you begin to question this like whole life thing. I'm like, what's the fucking point of it? Like, why did I say yes? Like, why am I here? Like, what the heck? Like, why would I be so stupid? And I don't know, like, I really can't say that I know what happens prior to life, before life, after life. Is there past lives? I don't know. To my sense and feeling, my feeling sense is there is. Do I know that for certain? No, I don't know that for certain. I really don't know. I don't feel anybody really does. And there's people that will tell you that they do, and maybe they do. I don't know. But for me, I'm unsure. And so, but then I'm like, well, maybe it's alcohol. Alcohol, like a lot of people that I know, and, I've been there many times. It's like, you go out and you have a night on the booze, and the next day you're like, I'm never drinking again. Never. No, I'm done. Next weekend comes around, or, next month comes around or whatever. There's a drink there, you have one, then you're like, it feels good. Then you like have another one. The next minute, bang. Same thing. The next day you wake up, you're like, never again. I'm not doing that ever again. Right. And so the same thing with childbirth. I saw it with my wife, and after our first son, she's like, I'm never doing that again. So we had our daughter, and she's like, I'm never doing that again. And then we had our third child, she's like, I'm never doing that again. And so, maybe it's the same thing with life. You're like, I'm never doing that again. But then you get up there, you're like, you know what, Clint? Imagine like going down there and, you got this whole life thing. You could get to, create a life. You get to have children. You get to have all these experiences, and, it's going to be tough, but it's going to be beautiful. And, you're going to be tested, but you're going to evolve, and, you're going to have all these challenges, but, there's going to be transformation. There's going to be all the different experiences. And you're like, oh, okay, I know. Just one more time. Let's do it. And so you go at it again. And so, long pause. Long pause. That's the moment that you're in gestation. You're in the womb. Long pause, and or maybe that's the pause in between lives. And so, life's tough. We learn to get tougher. Life has its ups and downs. You have your wins, you have your losses. You have your summers, you have your winters. You have high tide, you have low tide. You have nighttime, you have daytime. And what I am experiencing is life's a mixture of all of it. It's like a big bag of total different experiences. You've got like positive emotion, you've got negative emotions, you have ups, you have downs, you have elevated times, you have down times, you have times when you're energized, you have times when you're tired, you have times when for me, it's like, you have times when you're retoxing. So you're drinking coffee, you're drinking alcohol, you're smoking the good stuff. And then you have times when you're detoxing from it, and you're abstaining from it, and you're using and exercising your discipline and your will and your focus, and you're getting the most out of your energy in your life. And then soon comes a time when you're back using these substances again to try and get a little bit of escape from the intensity that life is. And so I feel that the intention for me sharing, what I'm sharing is that, just so you know that you're not alone. Like, from one brother to another is that, life does have its curveballs. It does have its challenges. It does have its moments, its tests, its dark days, its down days. It's days where, you want to give up and you wish there was an out. And from my experience is that, these days don't last forever. And a different day could be this afternoon. It could be tomorrow. It could be next week. It could be next month. Sometimes these periods last a long time, a short time, or don't last at all. And just know that it does change and things can get better, and you can make a conscious choice and effort to want to grow and want to experience the full spectrum of life. And I believe that's why we're here. Is like, you came here to experience it all, and you came here to transmute something. And, maybe there is a point where it's like, there is a lot of people that believe it's like, it's like you come to Earth to learn lessons and experiences and have the experiences that you need till it gets to a point where you don't need to come back again because you've evolved past that and you've realized self. And so then you have the choice of like, okay, cool, I'm done here. And maybe that's the case. And so if that's the case, it's like, well, how about we go for that in this lifetime? And then so maybe you don't have to come back. I don't know. Or what if it's like, okay, cool, well, maybe this is my last life, or maybe this is my only life. And if that's the case, what are you going to do with that life? How are you going to live that life? How are you going to make the most of that life? How are you going to support yourself, support your family, support others? One thing I do know is that by supporting and guiding and helping others, for me, that brings fulfillment. There's a sense of forgetting your own pain for a moment to then be of service to others. And so, for me, that feels nice. And not that it takes away the pain. I guess it helps you to shift that or be free of it for a moment and to take your focus off yourself and put that focus onto someone else. And I believe that's the most fulfilling thing in life for me, is like seeing how being in service to others. And I had this really beautiful experience. And I guess one thing that I'm really challenged by at the moment is my daughter. And, she's 2 and she's, navigating herself. And so it's the terrible twos. And it's, we can try and be positive about it and go, it doesn't exist. And it's like, the reality is that it does exist. And it's they've got that name for a reason. And so, yeah, and they're just trying to find their way, and we all go through it. It's like they're just trying to find and navigate their way in the world. And with that comes some really intense emotions, really irrational thought and actions. And so it's confronting as a father for me. It's very confronting and, really challenging. And at the same time, through that, like today, I went up to and saw Steve Katz, my Freaky Genius Network chiropractor guy on the Gold Coast, and I spent 2 hours there, and an hour of that was just holding Ruby Rose on my chest, and I was lying back, and she was just there for a good hour, and Steve was supporting her in her process and her spine, and I was like, this is beautiful because I'm supporting her and I'm being present with her, and I know that that's having a positive impact on her and her life. And I'm grateful for that experience. And, to give that a bit of contrast, like I was up during the night and she probably woke up 4 or 5 times, and it felt like every time I was just drifting off back to sleep after being awake and struggling to get back to sleep, and then feeling like stretched. And, like it's those times when you sleep deprived that, it brings out the worst in you. Like it's, you get short, you get frustrated. And so, respond in the best way. And so, and feeling frustrated and turned off by life and really emotional and triggered. And, you can't predict, or, there's different things in life that trigger us. And so for me, this is one of those things, like just feeling frustrated by that. But then to go have that, counselor experience, to go into, this session with Steve, and to sit there and have that time with my daughter and just, feeling her love and feeling her there, and just, loving her and just understanding that she's going through a hard time herself, just like I am, and so I'm like holding her like I'd want someone to hold me. And so I'm holding her in that experience. And so, I'm supporting her, and it's a contrast to how it was during the night. And so what I've discovered is that life, it has its positive and negatives. It has its support and challenge. It has its ups and downs. And so, like that was a beautiful, touching, magical, loving experience. And during the night, it wasn't. It was really fucking hard. I was tested. I was stretched. And it's like, well, can you have one without the other? I don't think so. I think they come with each other. Life's about balance. It's about seasons. It's about tides. It's about lows. It's about highs. It's about winters. It's about summers. It's springs and autumns. It's day and night. It's hot and cold. It's wet. It's dry. It's emotional. It's non-emotional. It's happy. It's sad. So we get to, and we experience many different types of emotions, experiences, tests, challenges, triumphs. And, what would be a success if we didn't have failures along the way? Like the failures make the success all that better, all that more glorious. So I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm here. And I'm here to stay to the end, whenever that end will be. And I'm here in service, and I'm here to support, and I'm here to guide, and I'm here to learn, and I'm here to grow, and I'm here to cry, and I'm here to feel. And I'm here to serve. And so, brother or sister, whoever's tuning in, just know that you're not alone. There's light at the end of the tunnel. For every dark day, there's a light day after that. And there's always a sunrise at the end of a dark night. Tide goes in, tide goes out. And everything's always changing. And so if you can hold that as an essence, as a seed in your awareness, in your experience, then I believe that it helps you to endure those challenging times. I'll leave it at that. Big love. See you next week.
Sitting here watching the clock, I'm struggling, thinking of the bullshit that I've been juggling. Is there more to life than this? I'm